In the shadow of the Iron Curtain, fear did not always wear a uniform. Sometimes it purred on four wheels. They called it the Black Volga, a sleek Soviet limousine, curtains drawn, windows dark as a coffin lid. Witnesses swore it glided without a sound, slowing beside children and lone pedestrians who were never seen again. Was it the secret police hunting in plain sight? Cultists stealing blood for the powerful and the dying? Or something older? A driver with horns instead of mirrors, and a license plate that read 6666? Tonight, we follow the road of a legend that turned a simple black car into the most terrifying silhouette of the Cold War night.
They say that in the cold years of the Cold War, there was a car you never wanted to see. Not a monster in the woods, not a ghost in an abandoned house, but a sleek black limousine that appeared without warning, gliding through the city streets like a shadow with headlights. In Poland, they called it Czarna Volga, the Black Volga. According to the stories, if it slowed beside you at night, or rolled up to a group of children playing in the street, someone would vanish, and no one would ever be found. Even now, decades later, the rumor refuses to die. The legend's roots sink into real horror. Poland, 1956. In the city of Kielce, 3 children went out to play on a sunny afternoon and did not come home. Their disappearance sparked one of the largest searches in local history. Police combed fields, neighbors peered into basements, parents screamed their children's names into the gathering dark. Somebody whispered that a dark limousine had been seen nearby. A big black car with curtains in the windows. At the time, no one could prove it. Later, investigators would discover the tragic truth. The children had died in a hidden sandpit collapse. No kidnappers, no car. But the damage to the collective imagination was already done. In the absence of clear answers, the mind fills in its own monsters. Just months later, in January of 1957, another case cemented the fear. 15-year-old Bohdan Piasecki, the son of a prominent Polish politician, was seen speaking with an unknown man near a black car in Warsaw. Witnesses would remember the car's dark body, its imposing shape. They would remember the boy leaning closer as the stranger showed him some kind of credential, something official, something reassuring. Bohdan got into the car. He was not seen alive again. His body would be found in 1958. His killer was never identified. In the rumor-ridden streets, the details blurred into a single sentence. A black car took him. A black car can take anyone. In the Eastern Bloc, a Volga was not just a car, it was a rolling symbol of power. The Gaz Volga was big, heavy, and expensive, far beyond the reach of ordinary workers who dreamed of tiny Fiats or Trabants. A black Volga with curtains in the back usually meant one thing: the party. High officials, secret police. People stepped aside when they heard one thunder past. They did not stare too long into the tinted windows. In their grandparents' stories were other dark sedans used by the NKVD during Stalin's purges, the infamous black ravens that arrived in the dead of night and left with one less neighbor in the building. So when children went missing, when people felt watched, when no answers came from the censors and the state, the imagination chose the most logical monster it knew, an official-looking black car that could pull up at any curb, any time, and take you away. By the early 1960s, the Black Volga was no longer just a police rumor. It was a bedtime story told in whispers. Parents warned their children, "Be good, don't wander off, or the Black Volga will take you away." In schoolyards across Poland, the tale spread from mouth to mouth. The car had white curtains, or it had no license plates, or its driver never stepped out because he had no face. For children like Anya, a girl walking home from school between grey tenement blocks at dusk, the sound of a big engine behind her was enough to make her blood run cold. Because in those days, you didn't just fear criminals, you feared what your own government might be hiding from you. One evening, Anya lingers too long after class. The street is almost empty. The sun sinks behind the concrete blocks. She hears it before she sees it, a low, confident rumble of an engine, too powerful for these narrow roads. A black Volga rolls up beside her. White curtains, shiny chrome, no taxi sign, no markings. The rear door opens with a soft click. Inside sits a woman dressed as a nun, rosary glinting in the dim light. Next to her, a man in a priest's collar smiles gently.
"Come, child. It is late. We will take you home. Your parents must be worried."
Stories like this circulated in Poland. Kidnappers disguised as priests and nuns, as nurses and policemen. Figures of trust, draped in uniforms of safety, inviting children into the car. Anya's hand tightens on her satchel. She remembers the whispers, the warnings, the Black Volga. She takes a step back, then another. Without a word, she turns and runs. Behind her, the car door shuts. The engine revs once, mildly annoyed, and the Volga glides away, searching for someone else less cautious, less lucky. Beyond Poland, the legend mutated. In rural Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, people spoke not of kidnappers, but of something worse. A lone traveler walking down a country road at night would hear tires crunching gravel. A black car would pull up beside him, sometimes a Volga, sometimes just a large, expensive sedan nobody in the village could ever afford. The window would slide down, the driver's eyes would glow faintly in the dark, and in a voice too deep, too hollow, he would ask,
"What time is it?"
If the traveler answered with a normal time, one version said he would drop dead where he stood. Another claimed he had exactly 24 hours to live. But there was one escape. If he replied, "It is God's time," only then would the driver snarl, slam the accelerator, and disappear into the blackness. Some said the driver was a demon. Some said he was the devil himself. And the car, of course, bore a license plate ending in 666. As transplant medicine advanced in the 1960s, the stories took a new, grotesque turn. People whispered that the Black Volga did not just abduct, it harvested. According to the rumors, the car's passengers were agents for the rich and powerful. Foreign millionaires with leukemia, aging communist leaders desperate to live forever, unknown elites in distant clinics. Children taken by the Volga, they said, were bled dry for their fresh, healthy blood. Their organs were cut out in secret hospitals and flown abroad. No evidence ever proved these tales, but in societies that lied about everything from food shortages to crime statistics, the people had no reason to trust denials. In the Black Volga, every fear clotted together. Fear of the state, fear of foreign exploiters, fear that the powerful might literally feed on the lives of the young. In some countries, the car itself changed, but the fear stayed the same. In Ceausescu's Romania, the Soviet Volga was rare, so the rumors latched onto the local equivalent, a black Dacia 1300 sedan, a special series built only for secret police and high officials. People whispered that one of these Dacias drove the streets at night, searching for children. Elsewhere in Czechoslovakia, the legend reformed as the story of a black ambulance. A medical van with no markings, prowling neighborhoods, its doors sliding open to swallow the unwary. From Volga to Dacia to ambulance, the skin of the story changed, but at its core remained the same idea, that somewhere out there, an official-looking vehicle was hunting you, and no one would admit it. The Black Volga thrived because it lived in the space between what people felt and what they were allowed to say. In authoritarian regimes, the press insisted that crime was rare, that children were perfectly safe, that the party protected all. When children disappeared, when bodies were found, when police quietly told parents not to spread panic, people turned to each other instead of the news. In kitchens thick with cigarette smoke, mothers traded stories over chipped mugs. Someone had a cousin who had seen the car. Someone knew a policeman who wasn't supposed to talk. Someone had heard about a girl named Liliana, abducted by women in a Black Volga and miraculously returned. Every retelling added a new layer of dread. The legend became a secret language, a way of warning your children, of hinting at your distrust of the authorities, without ever daring to say it openly. When communism fell and the Volgas rusted away, the legend didn't die, it simply upgraded. In the late 1990s, people spoke not of a Black Volga, but of a black BMW or Mercedes. Now the villains were gangsters, Satanists, wealthy businessmen. In one Polish town in 1999, panic spread about a black limousine whose driver asked children for the time, then murdered them. The old devil in the car story slipped into a new leather seat. By the 2000s and 2010s, the story traveled online. Parents shared warnings about suspicious vans near schools. Photos of ordinary delivery trucks went viral as alleged kidnapping vehicles. The bodywork changed. Volga, Dacia, ambulance, BMW, white van. But beneath the paint, the same engine hummed. The fear that children can vanish, that someone with power and a vehicle can erase you, and that the truth will never be printed in the morning paper. Today, the Black Volga is folklore, a story told in articles, in books, in late-night YouTube videos. But in Eastern Europe, the phrase Black Volga still carries a chill. It evokes a time when secrets ruled the streets, when an official-looking car outside your building could mean your life was about to change forever. Somewhere, in a forgotten garage or a crumbling warehouse, a real Volga may be sitting right now, its chrome dulled by dust, its tires cracked, its curtains yellowed. It is just a car, cold metal, old leather, dead wiring, and yet... If you were walking home alone tonight, and a long black car with curtains and no markings rolled to a stop beside you, and a calm voice from inside asked you what time it was, would you answer? Or would you remember the stories and whisper instead, "It is God's time"? Because legends have a way of obeying only one law. The more we fear them, the more real they become.
The Black Volga never stood trial. No driver was unmasked, no secret file revealed. Just stories, traded in whispers across Poland, Russia, Romania, a rolling shadow blamed on secret police, organ thieves, and sometimes the devil himself. The car is gone now, rusted out of existence. But its outline still lingers in memory, a silhouette at the curb, an engine that never quite starts, except in the back of your mind. Because in the end, the Black Volga was more than metal. It was a warning from a frightened age that power can arrive without sirens, without badges, just a dark car in the night. And by the time you notice it, it's already too late. Thank you so much for joining me this week. If you enjoy my tale, please give the video a like, and if so moved, subscribe to my channel. Until next time.